So the mayor of Memphis was nearly kidnapped before claiming the city is safer. This per police. Suspect was arrested with a taser, gloves, rope, and duct tape after scaling the wall to Paul Young's neighborhood. But hey, Memphis is getting safer. What's that really mean? Let's get into it. Here we go. So whenever I see these headlines, I think to myself, well, the city probably is getting safer, and Memphis is getting safer. But that's relative to where it's been, which has been some extremely unsettling safety numbers. You're coming off of some high numbers, and you're coming down, but that doesn't mean you're safer, relatively. It just means your stats are a little bit better. But as far as safety goes in Memphis, no. Let's watch a quick video. Here we go. The kidnapping plot.
A man accused of trying to kidnap the mayor of Memphis, scaling a wall at his subdivision and showing up at his door armed with a taser, was arraigned today. Police say Trenton Abston also had rope, gloves, and duct tape in his car, and that there is surveillance footage to back up the arrest. NBC's George Solis is following this.
That guy's hosed.
What more do we know about Abston and any possible motive?
Yeah, Chris, some of the details certainly harrowing according to the court documents obtained by NBC News. I'll tell you, one of the things that struck a lot of people in this is sort of the alleged repeat visits to the mayor's home. In this report, he says that he went to the home more than once. He wanted to confront the mayor, reportedly to confront him about crime in the city. And as you mentioned, when authorities finally did catch up with him, he had that taser, roll of duct tape, and a white rope. Now, he's facing attempted kidnapping, aggravated criminal trespass, and stalking charges. He told police allegedly that he went to the home and he confronted, once he confirmed the residence, he knocked on the door, the mayor saying that he saw this individual on a Ring camera. It scared, of course, him, his wife, his children. They did not answer. This individual leaves. Authorities catch up with him later at a place of employment. And that's when he admits that he wanted to actually confront the mayor about, again, the crime there. The mayor, of course, issuing a statement about these charges, saying the link between angry online rhetoric and real life violence is becoming undeniable. Political violence and intimidation, whether threatened or enacted, simply cannot be our norm. Of course, on the heels of that tragedy in the Twin Cities, this statement kind of goes on to kind of touch on elements of that after that terrible tragedy there. This individual did have a court appearance today, Chris, but I'm told it was actually postponed until Monday. So we'll learn a little bit more about this case, presumably next week. Chris?
George Solis, thank you.
Things are looking up. Things are looking up. Just days before Mayor Paul Young of Memphis touted declining crime in the city, a man allegedly stalked and attempted to kidnap him. Trenton Abston, 25, was arrested Wednesday and charged with attempted kidnapping, stalking, and aggravated criminal trespass against Young. Police said in an announcement on Facebook that public and private security camera footage showed Abston scaling the wall to the mayor's neighborhood and walking to Young's home. He was arrested with taser, gloves, rope, and duct tape in his vehicle. Thanks to a rapid response as well as security footage, Abston was quickly apprehended. But then we are told to believe Memphis, it's okay, it's all right, it's totally fine. We understand the concerns raised by this incident. According to Shelby County, Tennessee jail records, Abston remains behind bars as of Friday. All right. Suspect was arrested just one day after Young took to X to defend the city after comments made by sports analyst, and this is what I want to focus on, Stephen A. Smith, who said NBA players don't want to play in Memphis due to safety concerns. Whoa. Ooh. All right, so that is the shots fired. And everybody knows Memphis is one of the murder capitals in the United States. It's got a lot of criminal activity. I had a young man interview with me here, and he was from Memphis, and he said that relative to Memphis, the Northgate area, which is kind of North Seattle, it's probably, 8 miles to the north of downtown Seattle, something like that. It's the area where Highway 99 is, where all the prostitutes just basically run around in their underwear. You got to do what you got to do to get business in the door, right? It's Seattle. It's Freatle. It's what we're doing. Got pimps from all over the country coming to Seattle to, sexually traffic their young women. And what does Seattle leadership do? It's okay. It's all right. I mean, everybody's got to get their little piece of the pie, right? So you guys get out there and do your crimes and we won't worry about it. But young man who came to interview with me for a position here with one of the companies said, Northgate, it feels really safe. And Northgate's kind of a sketchy area. You got a bunch of pimps running around shooting people. You got drugs. You got shootings happening. You got a lot of prostitution. You've got, people breaking into stuff. You got a lot of crime going on. But for somebody from Memphis, he said, I feel like I can walk around all night and it's no issues. And relatively, that's probably true. But I think enough people that have been to Memphis, I have only been to Memphis's airport. I have not been to Memphis, so I can't personally say. But all the crime stories I see, all the crime stories I read, Memphis is kind of off the hook for criminal activity. And that's what Stephen A. Smith is talking about. It's got a reputation. It backs up its reputation. And that reputation is not based on consistent public safety. It's based on murders, assaults, you name it. And are those numbers going down? Many of those numbers have gone down. I believe gun violence has gone up by like 2.3%, something like that, in one of those stats. So you had a handful coming down, but it's because criminal activity, after the pandemic just went to the moon, absolute moon. And these mayors, they can't exactly go, things have really gone south on us here. Not really sure what we're going to do. Anybody got any suggestions? Anybody? What do I do? I feel like that's what Brandon Johnson should do. That's what Let's Go Brandon Johnson of Chicago should do. Anybody got any suggestions what I should do? Because clearly I don't know. And then the mayors of these cities, things are getting better. A day later, he's almost absconded by some lunatic with a bunch of duct tape and rope. What was he going to do with them? I'm going to tie you up and then I'm going to haul you out of here. I'm going to scale back that wall with you, or I'm just going to escort you out. I'm going to escort you out, Mr. Mayor, into my car. And then what are you going to do then? What's your end goal there? But hey, don't worry. Memphis is mostly safe. Mostly safe. That's what we're going to go with. People in Memphis, it's a great sports town, great fans, great people. But there's an element there where cats like Jimmy Butler and others don't feel like it's the safest environment, Smith said. Yeah, because it's not. Just call a spade a spade. Hey, great sports town, but it's not very safe. And NBA players, if they have the choice to go to a town like Memphis or go somewhere else where you've actually got law enforcement that does their job, is able to do their job, and doesn't have just 1,000,001 lunatics running around, you know what I mean? It's not that hard to figure out. Those multimillionaire sports figures are going to go somewhere where they're going to take their multiple nannies, their wives, their girlfriends and wives, their children, their families, their extended families. They're going to want them in a neighborhood that's safer than what Memphis has to offer. Period. And that's what Stephen Smith is talking about. But, the mayor of Memphis, he's got to tout. He's got to go down the road of, it's mostly safe. I mean, I was nearly abducted yesterday, but don't worry about that. Police handled that. And that's when you think, okay, all right. Yeah, all right. I mean, you say whatever you want to say. You're a politician. We don't believe you. We believe Stephen A. Smith. I'm talking to the local authorities in Memphis. You got to clean some of that stuff up because it's dissuasive to NBA players. They have talked about it. I know. They've told me. That's all I'm saying. He's just saying what everybody knows. Memphis is unsafe. Memphis has got some real criminal activity. Seattle has got some real criminal activity. Portland literally has a dude named Looney Tune running around shooting at police and is wanted. Looney Tune. So you've got cities with major safety issues. Memphis being one of them. And Memphis, it's a known quantity. But the mayor, he's got to spin it. He's got to keep pushing. He's got to keep pushing for it's getting better. It's getting better. Trust me, it's getting better. You're going to love it. It's getting better. When in fact, what's it relative to? To Memphis? Okay, then that's not good. Because Memphis has been off the charts, right? Talking about the Grizz more than the finals, laughing emoji. With these cap emoji sources, Ja Morant player. I don't even know what language that is. Instead of focusing on the performances we've seen from J-Dub / Shy, TJ Sikkim players, how this series is going, we say some negative about a city / team on a national level. All right. Well, you're calling out public safety. That's what you're doing. And that's not a bad thing. It is what it is. Maybe it could be better. Maybe public safety in Memphis could be better. Young also weighed in on X. Steven called us a great sports town. Facts, he said. Best fans in sports? True. People of Memphis? Unmatched. But what he is missing is that crime is down significantly in 2024 and 2025. But then that whole incident with the mayor, I mean, we just got to ignore. Just ignore that. Yeah, not worried about that. I mean, just things are getting better. They're getting better. We're getting better. We're not just talking change, we're delivering it. Memphis is rising, and we've got the numbers and the heart to prove it. All right. Okay. All right. And the mayor invited Smith to come to Memphis, where he is welcome anytime. Okay. Memphis mayor attempted kidnapping suspect makes no plea. Very remorseful, the family says. You know what this kid is remorseful about? He got caught. He's not remorseful. He had a plan. I mean, the guy had all kinds of equipment and nonsense and just stuff, right? Stephen A. Smith accepts Mayor Paul Young's invitation to visit Memphis. Okay. All right. I'm all right with that. Deeply appreciate your words and the sentiments that came from them. Progress is what life is all about. And when it comes to Memphis, where some dear friends of mine reside, I wish for nothing less. Everybody wants public safety. But the reality is, in Memphis, you've got something else. And what I would say to Stephen A. Smith and Mayor Paul Young is, how about this? How about you go to the South Side at, say, 2:00 in the morning on a Saturday? Why don't you do that? Why don't you do that? And then you film that. Film a couple hours. Be out there from 2 a.m. till 4 a.m. And then you let me know what that looks like. Because most cities that have a crime problem, that's the witching hour, isn't it? Yeah, people all hopped up on drugs. They've stolen earlier in the night. Maybe they need to go out for round 2. I mean, you've just got people all hopped up to do a bunch of criminal activity. It's Saturday night. They need to get after it. They've been waiting all week to get out there and just really, really steal some stuff. Or, accost somebody or maybe murder somebody. Who knows? World's your oyster. Anything can happen. But yeah, even midnight. How about midnight on a Friday? Just go out for a couple hours, see what happens. Drive around, no police escort, no guns, just mano a mano, right? Just go out there and just see what's going on. Hey guys, what are you doing? What's happening? Go to the most dangerous intersection you can find and just hang out and see if crime is down. See if the numbers have dropped. See if you firsthand feel like things are really in the right direction. See I just want you to be on the streets and feel this. And then you can have Stephen A. Smith talk about on his shows. And he gets a lot of internet action, Stephen Smith. He says a lot of stuff, and most of the time I agree with them. And when he's saying Memphis ain't safe, and everybody knows it. And you're trying to cover up for him, when in fact you literally were just about kidnapped. But don't worry about that. Yeah, don't worry about that. I mean, that's just not that. These guys are never going to go to one of the most dangerous intersections in Memphis. That's not going to happen because they got too much to live for. They don't want to be out there because they don't want to be accosted. The guy just almost got kidnapped. You drive through some tough neighborhoods in Memphis, you may not drive back out. Period. I don't care if crime's incrementally gone up or down. They're dangerous. It's dangerous. You could get killed. Murder in Memphis? Yeah. I mean, we've got it in Seattle all day long. Just people capping each other. We had a stabbing on the bus this past weekend. A little stabbing action. But Seattle's mostly safe. It's okay. It's mostly safe. We had 2 officer-involved shootings, but it's, Seattle's mostly safe. We're on the right direction. At what point in time do you go, doesn't really matter what your crime stats are. What are the optics? What are the optics of what we've got going on? And the optics are everything. The actual stats, nobody gives a rat's ass because you're telling them a bunch of stuff that's cherry-picked that gives you the good numbers. It's like, throughout the United States, they're trying to tell us crime's down. And yet it feels like the type of crime that's out there that's being reported is up. That's how Seattle feels. Maybe I'm way off. Maybe my numbers just don't make sense. But when people tell me, oh yeah, Seattle's getting safer, I'm like, well, how about all the stories that I read? It doesn't appear that Seattle is getting safer. It doesn't appear that we're calming down and we're getting better. It doesn't appear that how about Portland's how many nights in a row of violence that Portland authorities, Portland police have just allowed to take place? Antifa versus the feds. Round 2 again after 170 days. And Portland leadership couldn't work out that it's bad for the optics of the city. It's bad for business. It's bad for public safety. It's bad for, but no, they're going to go down this road of allowing it to happen, criminal activity, instead of throwing the criminals in jail, arresting them, prosecuting them, and incarcerating them. Instead, we just allow them to run around and do whatever willy-nilly because, racial justice reform. I mean, what else you got? Just a bunch of politicians that can't work their way out of a paper bag? Absolutely. That's what you got. And you've got, top down to the police. Don't arrest anybody. We're not going after them. We're not doing that because of, this is justice. This is what justice looks like. And that's how you end up with having your mayor almost abducted and then duct taped up and then Lord knows what after that. You don't even want to know, right? It's like this kid was kind of the 25-year-old kid who's in custody now. It's like he's just delusional. I'm going to go steal the mayor. You're like, well, what's the game plan here? Didn't really have one. Really upset about, was really upset about his exchange with Stephen A. Smith. I don't. But I mean, drastic action, right? So that kid needs to get some psychiatric help or he needs to be incarcerated for a long time. Because he's a menace to society, as are so many of the others in Memphis committing their acts of violence, as well as Seattle, as well as Portland, any of the other big blue cities that I cover. You got a bunch of shenanigans going on that shouldn't be happening. But because of policy and leadership, this is where we sit. Hey, come to Memphis. Great sports team. But, if you're a mayor, things might be a little bit tricky, a little bit touch and go as far as that whole kidnapping. Yeah, pesky detail. But, Memphis is getting safer other than that. All right. That's it for me on this one. Thanks so much for being here. Love to have you subscribe, do all that good stuff. I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.